Dr. Kashif, I think we have ample of our participants who normally and regularly join, so I think we shall be starting our session right now.
Yeah, sure.
So before I start, I welcome everyone on this lecture series. And as you know, we have our international faculty on board. And this time we have invited Dr. Kashif Iqbal, who is currently working as registrar anesthetist and NHS Colchester General Hospital in UK. He is also the overseas coordinator for Pakistan Society of Anesthesiologists, and he was formerly the general secretary of Pakistan Society of Anesthesiology Karachi chapter, as well as before leaving for UK, he was working as a specialist as SIUT in Indus Hospital Karachi. So I welcome Dr. Kashif Iqbal for this great talk, and we are looking forward to have his views on all about exams for UK and Ireland. Welcome, Dr. Kashif.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asma, and thank you, PSA Karachi, for inviting me for this talk. So I'm going to discuss about different options that we have to pursue our career in England or Ireland. So I'm not going to discuss about the exams in particular, but we are going to discuss different options that we have to go for UK or Ireland. So let's start our presentation. So why UK or Ireland? There was a publication published in this year in BMC, and what they did, they searched different items between 2009 to 2021. And what they gathered different items. What are the drivers and barriers of doctors migration to UK? And what did they find? They find that mostly we all have a similar point of view, that we have a desire for changing life. We want better quality of life. Obviously, the financial gain for self and the family. And one of the most important thing is acquire a foreign post-graduation degree, and employment opportunities, better training, and that's all. So how can we join any UK or Ireland healthcare system? So a broad view, in UK we have NHS, which is National Health Services, and in Ireland we have Health Service Executive. Obviously, these are one of the best healthcare systems in the world. But if we discuss with local people, obviously you will find some difference of opinion. But when we compare these systems with our systems in South Asia, obviously these are much advanced and much better organized in UK and Ireland. So the question is how to work in these systems. So how to practice as a doctor in UK or Ireland. So what you do, these are the simple things that obviously you all must know, that for UK you need to join and acquire registration for GMC, and for that you have to do PLAB. And for Ireland, Medical Council of Ireland, you have to pass the press exams. But there are different other options that we have as an anesthetist if we have done our post-graduation in Pakistan or any other part of the world. So there are different options, and those options I'm going to discuss in this my presentation, and which are the exams which we can pass or which we can use for these registration for GMC or Irish Medical Council. So for Ireland, the fresh graduates can do the press exams, and there are two other routes which for the general registration, like higher qualification or certificate of experience, that is HAUCHO. So if you go to the Ireland website, Irish Medical Council, you will find these options for general registration. Like if you are having a degree of FCPS from Pakistan, there is a list of degrees mentioned on their websites, where you can find if you have done any post-graduation in your country in anesthesia. So if it is available on that list, then you can definitely get the registration done under the route of higher qualification. But again, if your degree is not on that list and you have done internship in 2009 onwards, then you can also get the registration done with Irish Medical Council. And one thing more, that for that you for under higher qualification registration or the house job registration, you need to do the OET for IELTS. For IELTS, you have to get 7.5 overall score, and for each section you have to get 7.5 in each, 7.5 overall, or more than 7 in each section. And for OET, you need to get B score in every section. There are 4 sections. I know you all guys may know that. And then you need to have a EPIC verification for MBBS, and then experience. Experience, that is, if you are going to get registration under the certificate of experience, that is house job certificates. So for that, you need to get the EPIC verification, and then you need to get the good standing from your from your country's medical commission. In Pakistan, we have PMDC. And then if you are going to get registered through higher qualification, then you need to get the degree and the transcript from the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Pakistan. And if you do an MD from Sri Lanka, then you have to get the degree and the transcript from the College of Anesthetists of Sri Lanka. So these are the simple options that are available for Ireland registration. But for the UK registration, what you need to do is generally we do PLAB for the GMC registration. After graduation, you can do PLAB, which is a very easy exam and everyone can do. If you have done MBBS, then definitely you can do this exam. And then if you go to the United Kingdom website, GMC website, you will find some acceptable overseas post-graduation qualifications. And then for there is a Bangladesh qualification, which is FCPS anesthesia, and then MD anesthesiology from Sri Lanka, then EDIC from Europe, or FCAI from Ireland. Pakistan's FCPS anesthesia was also there in overseas acceptable degrees since, but until 2021, I guess, and then they removed that degree, and we are working on it. Maybe at some time we will be able to see this degree again on the acceptable post-graduation. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the different scenarios if you are FCPS anesthesiology. So what should you do to get to come to the Europe? Whether you go to the UK first or you should go to Ireland. So in my opinion, obviously these are not hard and fast rules. Everyone has every individual has a different scenario and obviously the opportunities. So what I think, if you are having a FCPS anesthesiology from Pakistan and your degree is not acceptable overseas qualification at the GMC website, and then you can definitely and you should go for the Irish registration first, because it is very easy and it is acceptable for Irish Medical Council. And the second thing is that it is, until now, it is available. It is acceptable for Irish Medical Council. Since before 2021, FCPS anesthesia was acceptable for GMC as well, but they suddenly put it down. So no one knows when they put it down, the FCPS anesthesiology from Pakistan from their list. So it is better to get registered as soon as possible if you have FCPS anesthesiology. And then, so what you need to do is, after getting registration done, you can directly do FCAI final examination, because FCPS anesthesiology from Pakistan is MCI exempted for those degrees. And when you go to the College of Anesthetists of Ireland website, where you will find some exemption criteria, and FCPS anesthesiology from Pakistan and some of the different post-graduation degrees from different part of the world are also exempted, and you can directly go to FCI. But for that, you first need to have an Irish Medical Council registration, and then you need to have a certain time period working in those system HSC, which I mentioned earlier. So then you can directly go for FCI fellowship. And then obviously, when you have FCAI, then let me go back, then you can have this. Look, for GMC, Ireland FCAI is acceptable. So this is the route. But it depends on you. If you have Irish Medical Council and you are working there and you did and you are done with your FCI, then you can keep working there and get into the specialist register and work there as a consultant, or you can even have a GMC registration after that. So it is my recommendation, but it is not a hard and fast rule, that if you are FCPS anesthesiology and your degree is available and it is mentioned on the Irish Medical Council, then get registration for Irish Medical Council and get your exemption for MCAI, and then go for FCAI. And then the sky is the limit. Obviously, you will have GMC registration and you can practice as a consultant there to get the specialist registrar or Irish Medical Council. So the story is different for if you are MD, MS, or MCPS anesthesiology. And secondly, if your degree is not available or for the higher qualification registration, so what you need to do? So again, if you have done your house job in 2009 or later, then you you are the lucky person. You can get the Irish Medical Council registration done, and then you can do MCI first and then FCI. And the story is same. If once you're done with your FCI, you can have GMC registration and everything. But what about the people who have MD, MS, or MCPS before 2009? So what are they going to do? And there are different options. We have EDAC, we have primary FRCA, we have MTI program, and we can do PLAB. So I have right here in front of EDAC the question mark, because what I think that EDAC is, like I said, if you are MD/MS or MCPS anesthesiology, you cannot sit on the EDAC final exam. You can sit on EDAC primary exam, but you cannot sit on EDAC final exam. That's number one. And number two, without doing EDAC, you cannot have your Irish Medical Council registration, and you cannot have your GMC registration also. So what we need to do is, first we need to get the registration done, either with Irish Medical Council and GMC Medical Council, General Medical Council, UK, right? So for that, EDAC is not appropriate if anyone having MD, MS, or MCPS or any other postgraduate degree in anesthesia, which is not acceptable, because for EDAC, if you go to the EDAC website, there is a list and there is some exemptions, but there is no exemption for EDAC part 1, very basics, and then EDAC part 2. Dr. Asma, आपकी आवाज आ रही है?
No, unfortunately, this time it was not me, it was someone else. It's okay.
Very similar voice. Okay. So for EDAC part 2, I was discussing for EDAC part 2, you need to have FCPS anesthesiology, right? So there are certain degrees which you need to have with you before appearing for EDAC part 2. You cannot directly go into EDAC part 2. If you have done with EDAC part 1, you cannot directly sit into EDAC part 2. You need to have some other degree, and for that you need to have FCPS anesthesiology, or there are some other degrees available on their websites. So EDAC, in my opinion, EDAC is not suitable for anyone having MD, MS, or MCPS. But there is some chances that if you actually, when there are certain different criteria, and if you directly email them and tell them about your training program and your transcript, send them, like if you are MD, MS anesthesiology, you should directly discuss with them to the EDAC website, get the email address from there, and then email them and discuss them your scenario, discuss with them your scenario, and tell them about your transcript, about your training program and everything. They may accept your, training program, and they may agree with you that you can appear in EDIC part two as well. So it depends individual basis, but as a general, there is only FCPS and physiology for EDIC part one. But there are chances. If you are willing to do EDIC, then first you need to clarify things first, and then go for EDIC part two. EDIC part one then, and then EDIC part two. But before clarifying everything, you should not sit in EDIC part one, because then it will be a useless exam for you. So the second exam is primary FRCA. This is one of the exams which FCPS, anesthesiology, MD, MS, or any other postgraduate degree, any person working in anesthesia in any part of the world can appear in primary FRCA. And then you have MTI program, and then obviously the PLAB. So let's discuss about the primary FRCA. For primary FRCA, you don't need any OET or IELTS. You can directly sit in the primary FRCA exam without doing any IELTS or OET. But what you need temporary examination eligibility, which is TEE, because to appear in the primary FRCA, you need to be a member of the Royal College of Anaesthetists of England. And for that, obviously, any other person practicing anesthesia, any other part of the world, he or she may not have those membership. For those people, they give this temporary examination eligibility, and you can go to the FRCA website, and there you will find this TEE, and there is a certain window for each exam that, like if you are appearing in November for FRCA part one in November, then you have to get TEE in like August of the same year. So TEE is valid for 12 months. And in those 12 months, there are, in 12 months, they conduct 3 primary FRCA. So if you have temporary examination eligibility, then you can appear in 3 exams of primary FRCA but anyhow, if you cannot pass through that exam, then you can appear in another exam, and that's it. So it's a college prerequisite for taking a FRCA examination that you must be working anesthetist in any part of the world, and you may have any post-graduation degree in your part of the world, and then you can have TEE, and then you can appear in the FRCA primary. And the good thing is that when you are done with the primary FRCA, it has any exam, any postgraduate exam of anesthesiology in the world. Generally, there is 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. In primary FRCA, you have theoretical exam, which is MCQs and some other questions, and you can have those set of questions and what are the criteria, and so all the pool and the tools for passing these exams are available on the website, different websites. You can go through those websites, but there is primary FRCA part 1, and then if you pass the theory exam, then you have to appear in the OXI exams. There is another good thing is that you can appear from your home. Till today, it is mentioned on their website that you can appear remotely by online. Primary FRCA part 1 is online examination. It is a theoretical examination and CUs. So you can appear from your part of the world sitting in your home. There are certain criteria about the laptop and system that you must have for appearing in the exam. So it is a good option if you are sitting in Pakistan or any other part of the world, and then you can, because you don't need to pass the OET or IELTS. You just need to have a TEE, and then you can appear in the exam. Just if you pass a primary FRCA theory exam, then you have to come to the UK for OSCE exam. But if we compare with other exams like PLAB or like EDAC, primary FRCA is quite difficult, but it is doable. Obviously, any exam of the world is doable if you are an anesthetist. Certainly, you have a good knowledge, primary basic knowledge, so you can pass the exam. Every exam is doable, but if you compare primary FRCA, is quite it is. It is more tougher than the other exams. So there is another very good options for overseas anesthetists, and which is MTI, Medical Training Initiative. There is a very high level of competition because people from different part of the world apply for MTI program, but it is very easy. And if your luck helps you, then you can get into UK without appearing in any exam. You can have your GMC registration. You just need to pass the OET or IELTS as the certain criteria are settled and mentioned on their websites. So just go to the Royal College of Anesthetists website and search there the MTI program. You will find all the criteria, like you must have a post-graduation degree in anesthesia, and you must be a working anesthetist in your country. You have a medical council registration for with your country, in your country, like in Pakistan, if you have PMD registration. So these are certain criteria. So you just need to have OET exam done, and then you can apply for these MTI. Actually, these are trust grade jobs. So primary for Royal College of Anesthetists provide sponsorships for those. It is, and also the GMC registration. They support the GMC registration. So you will have a tier 5 visa for 24 months. So for 2 years, you can work in NHS with GMC registration as an anesthetist under supervision. The good thing, there is another good thing that after 24 months, you need to go back to your country, but you will have your GMC registration done for lifetime. That is number one. And number two, in your CV, you will have your NHS experience as well after going through the MTI. So if you have experience of NHS even for 6 months, your chances of getting a job is much higher if you have only 6 months of experience in NHS. So it is a very good option, and there are great chances that after going back to your country, you will come back getting another job in any other trust in the UK, because you already have your GMC registration, you have your NHS experience. So that's how it works. So in my hospital, there are about 5 MTIs, and mostly they are from India, but I think one is from Nepal as well. So they are doing very good, and they are very competent, and they are very happy that without passing an exam, they are having their GMC registration. They are working as an anesthetist, obviously under supervision. It's a training program for 2 years, but they are doing very great there. So it is a very good thing to have MTI. And for that, you just need to have OET or IELTS, and then just Google the different job vacancies under MTI Anesthesia UK program. Because there is not a certain date that on that date you can apply or anything. You can directly apply to the trust, to the hospitals, and then the Royal College of Anesthesia will provide you the sponsorship letter and a sponsorship for the GMC registration if you get selected. But again, I say that it is a very competent program, the high level of competition, I mean, because people for a single job, very large number of people apply from different part of the world. So these are the eligibility criteria that you are in your country. You must be living for last 12 months. I mean, and 3 years of anesthesia ICU training within last 5 years, and then post-graduation qualification, EPIC verification. And one thing is very important, that you must not appear in any PLAB exam, even if you just registered for PLAB one exam, then you cannot apply for. Even if you are not appear, if you not appeared in the PLAB one exam, but you already registered and got a date for the PLAB one, so you cannot apply for the MTI program, right? So if you never sit in the PLAB examination, so you can apply for MTI program and meet all the GMC requirements, which are IELTS, OET, obviously, and PMDC, good standing and 1 year internship. These are the GMC requirements. Okay, so where we were on the EDIC. I discussed about EDIC, primary FRCA, and the MTI, and the last option, if you are MCPS, MD, or MS, you can do PLAB. And the PLAB is as simple as this slide. I think, in my opinion, if you are done with your post-graduation degree in your country, and you are planning to come to UK or Ireland, and your degree is not acceptable, then it is not acceptable for GMC registration. It is not acceptable for EDA. And if you can get a primary FRCA done, it is very exceptional case. You can do it. It's a doable exam, but the most easiest exam is PLAB. This is what I recommend. That just go for PLAB, done with your GMC registration, and then come to UK, and then get into the NHS system. Then you can pass any primary FRCA, final FRCA. But you just need to get into the system first and for that you need to have GMC registration. And obviously for PLAB, you first need to have IELTS and OET. What I recommend that for PLAB, first you need to do OET or IELTS, and then start applying for the MTI program, okay? And start looking for PLAB 1 seat as well. So if you get any interview call, don't register for PLAB 1 seat and appear in your interview. And just wait for 6 months, because OET is valid for 2 years. And yeah, in COVID times, I'm not clear that, because in my time, I came here in 2020. During those periods, it was valid for 3 years. I am not sure about current situation, but if it is, even if it is valid for 2 years, then you can wait for 1 year. I mean, because for PLAB 2, you don't need to have OET. For PLAB 1, you need to have OET, right? So just apply for the MTI programs if you find that there are chances, and if you get any interview call and you appear in an interview, because during interview you can understand that are you going to get this job or not, because it is from the interviewers you can perceive those vibes that they are going to get you or not. So if you get the MTI program, it is one of the easiest and best way to get into the GMC and NHS system. But if you can't, then you should go for the PLAB 1. PLAB 1 is very easy exam. If you have passed your MBBS, then you can obviously do PLAB exam. PLAB 1 is, I must say, it's a MCQ based exam. It is very easy. And I can definitely guide anyone, because I've gone through this exam PLAB in 2020. So I actually, before appearing in the exam, I was not considering it a very easy exam, but after appearing it, because when I started preparing for the exam, I found it very easy. And in first go, I passed all the exam, PLAB 1 and PLAB 2. And then PLAB 2 is also very easy. If you pass PLAB 1, then PLAB 2 is not that much. I mean, PLAB 2 is much easier than PLAB 1, okay? And PLAB 1 is also very easy. And then you will have your GMC registration. And after GMC registration, you will get the NHS job. If you are anesthetist, you have your post-graduation degree in your home country, and you are a practicing anesthetist, and you have a GMC registration, no matter whether it is EDA or primary FRCA or FCI or any other thing. If you have GMC registration, you are going to get NHS job very easily. And if you are having GMC registration, then no matters you are FCPS, NSS, MCPS, MD, MS, you are going to get into the work in NHS as a registrar first or as a specialty doctor, would we say. And then it is another story that how to become a consultant in UK or Ireland. You need to get into the specialist registrar register for that to become a consultant in UK. And there are different because to get the training program in UK is very, very hard and very difficult. But there is another option, which is Caesar system. It is another story. You have some certain criteria that you are working 6 months in, I mean, general surgery and ENT. There is a list of sets which you need to fill yourself, all the forms and everything, get your supervisor signatures done for that Caesar applications, and after that, and you can. It is if you are working in NHS, then with passing time you will have a that Caesar application done, and then you can get into the specialist registrar and work as a consultant in NHS. But for that, you first need to get into the GMC registration. You need to acquire the GMC registration done, and then work here as a registrar or a specialty doctor for some time, and then work on your Caesar application, because it is a different story. Uh, what I would like to say that first, if you are an FATist, you can have your GMC registration done very easily, because these exams are very easy and doable. And what I recommend, if you are not a CPS anesthesia, you should go for lab or primary FRCA. And if you are FCPS anesthesia, then you should go for Irish Medical Council, because you don't need to pass any exam. You just go directly for general registration under higher qualification rule, and you will have your Irish Medical Council within 6 to 8 months, and then you can work there as an anesthetist, at the registrar, and after that, you already have MCAI exemption, and then you can appear in FCAI, and then after FCAI, you will have your GMC registration also done. You already have Irish Medical Council registration. Then the sky is the limit. You can go everywhere. Okay. So that's where I'm working in East Suffolk and North Essex NHS Foundation Trust. This is our hospitals, and it is everywhere on every wall. So there's the sign here, and you can see Pakistani flag here. So it is more than 100 nationalities. People are working in our hospital, but mostly I am in Colchester, which is, I mean, it is 80 to 90% are British-born people here. But then when you go to the hospital, you will find different nationalities. But the patients are generally 99% are English people. So it's a diverse hospital, diverse people you will find there. And in the end, I would like to say that passing the exam is a simple two-step process. Believe in yourself and back it up with your hard work. Because if you are doing hard work, you can pass any exam of the world. All the exams are doable. Just you need to have your your hard
Thank
work.
you so very much, Dr. Kashif. We definitely have many questions, and I'm sure people would be having many queries. Kindly just forgive me if I'm, putting up a very basic question just for the
Yeah,
sake
sure,
of
sure,
our
sure.
junior participants, and then we will be taking on the questions and,
Sure.
having the answers. Because, I have never worked on going to UK, or I don't have any interest, so just kindly ignore my ignorance for that fact, and I'm not interested in going to UK at all, but this is just for the information of my participants and the residents information as well.
Exactly.
As a layman, if I consider going to UK, let's say if I consider going to UK as a consultant, so you whatever you have presented is that there are actually two pathways. Just correct me and just give us a summary of the pathways where our residents can go to UK.
Yes.
One is if they want to go during their residency. So that is altogether a different pathway. And in that pathway, they have to first clear their OET or PLAB before going to UK for any residency or training job. And for
Right.
consultants who have done their FCPS or MCPS or any other, they have any other degree or diploma in anesthesia, or if they are either working as a specialist or as a consultant here in Pakistan or anywhere in their own countries other than UK, and they want to move to UK, then according to their degree and their country, they have to apply either for MCAI or FCAI or GMC. Is it true, or is it the right pathway? If I'm not getting it wrong.
Okay. So let me clear it that MCI and FCI is for the island, and for GMC, you need to have a GMC registration, right? And for island, you have to have medical council of
Oh,
island
sorry. For
registration. Yeah.
England, one has to get GMC, and for Ireland, one has to get MCAI or FCAI.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay,
Exactly.
okay.
Okay, and let me clear you that FCAI or MCAI, there is no surety that you will get Irish Medical Council registration, because when you go to Irish Medical Council website, there are certain criteria that you have to have your house job internship done, your medical school is on the world list, which is acceptable for EPIC verification, right? And for that reason, I have mentioned that first you need to know that which route is suitable for you to get the Irish Medical Council registration done. And after registration, you can appear MCAI or FCAI. There are certain degrees where MCAI exemption is done, so you can directly appear into the FCAI. But for that, you need to work in FCAI in England, in Ireland, for I think if I'm not wrong, it is more than 1 year, maybe 18 months, I guess. But it is around 12 to 18 months time period that you are working anesthetist in Ireland or England, then you can appear in the FCI final exam. And obviously for that, you need to have your Irish Medical Council registration done. So for the Irish Medical Council registration, first you need to have, if you are having, there are certain routes with which you can get your Irish Medical Council registration done, like in higher qualification degrees, which is FCPS anesthesia is included in it. Okay. And there are other degrees as well from different part of the world, like Sudan. Sudanese internship is also acceptable for Irish Medical Council. Pakistani house job is acceptable for Irish Medical Council. But if you have done your house job in 2009 or later, before 2009, it is not acceptable. Then you have to pass your press exam, which in other words, we can say the Irish PLAB. Most people say that it is a press exam. It is similar to the PLAB exam. So first you need to get your registration done with the Irish Medical Council, and then you can appear in the different exams, MCI or FCI.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum,
Walaikum
Dr. Kashif. Thanks a lot. This is Dr. Zishan Hashmi.
Zishan
It's
Hashmi,
really nice.
the famous
It's
figure of PSA or anesthesia world.
I am just a miskin. Don't worry. Actually, I just want to because this topic I have discussed number of times, and it's really nice that this topic has been taken at this forum, because there are so
Right,
many confusions, so many misconceptions
right.
about working in UK and Ireland, and unfortunately, nobody wants to be cleared. It's a big problem, because people are thinking that if we have it, because the basic difference between the Pakistani system and system in UK and Ireland is that in Pakistan we have exit qualifications, and
Exactly.
in UK
Yeah.
Ireland there is no exit qualification. So first of
Right.
all, please, whosoever is listening, please make sure, even if you have passed FCA, FRCA or FCAI or EDA or whatever, this is only exam. it adds nothing to your career as an anesthetist. Number one. Number two, uh, because their pathway is that degree is just like a piece of paper that they say that they only tell you that okay, fine, you have passed the exam, now get trained. Okay, and first of all, for that training, get yourself in that competition in which they you are able to run as fast to compete with their training system. Okay, so this is number one, that exam is nothing without training. So please make sure this thing Kashif has also mentioned in detail. I will not repeat it, but
Yeah,
exam separately is
actually,
nothing.
Zishan, what is it that in England system or Irish system, in Pakistan you need to first go through all the training and then you can appear in the FCPS part two. But in England or Ireland, you can directly sit in the without doing training. So it is just a degree without any obviously the
Anything.
training.
It
Yeah,
is, yeah, this is number one. Number two, actually, for appearing in because MTI, a lot of people ask. Honestly speaking, I would never recommend anyone to go for MTI, for reason being that this is a shortcut, and actually, ultimately, after 2 years, you have to come back. Okay, so
yeah,
once you move to UK or Ireland, actually, you want to settle there, because get going there and getting a passport is also a big degree. Okay, so usually majority of people would like to stay there for certain time, not only 2 years, because if they only finish 2 years, they are actually nothing. Actually actually in reality, you get nothing, only 2 years experience and nothing. So it is better, as you mentioned, that we should go for PLAB, or we should go for any anesthesia specific exam. Out of that, I would also second your recommendation that PLAB is much easier exam than anything else. People are asking me, oh, I want to appear in FRCA primary. It's
this
not
is
like that people you cannot
yeah,
do, but even the people who are working in UK, it is something, some
yeah,
it is something to pass F primary FRC. Okay,
exactly,
one thing I
exactly.
will just clarify, Kashif, that the college of this Irish Medical Council registration is not mandatory to appear in Irish exams. This is one
Yeah,
thing. And another thing is that MCAI, with certain, as you mentioned, that certain requirement they have, but MCAI, if you have done, you can get registered to the Irish Medical Council, even if you don't have
okay,
if you have not done any other exam. Okay, like
okay,
MCI, you with MCI you can register yourself with Irish Medical Council. Okay, so these were
right.
some things I just wanted to add.
Okay.
uh, Thank you.
Thank you, Zishan. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much, Dr. Zishan, for your input. For those who don't know, Dr. Zishan Hashmi has also done some work in Ireland and
He's a
England, and
gem.
then
He's
he
a
came
gem.
back to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And most of the people they know him, but those who don't know him, he also has got some experience and background after working in UK.
Can
Anyway,
I
so
add
coming to the
a few lines, Asma, in Zishan's?
G, yes,
Yeah. Okay.
in yes, please go ahead.
Regarding MTI, right? So actually, it is mentioned on their website that after 24 months, you have to go back to your country, right? But I have seen lots of people that who did their MTI in 2 years in England, and they went back to their country, and after 6 months they came back to the same hospital as a registrar. In my hospital, there are lots of registrar which went back to India or any other part of the world, and then they went, came back with a registrar post. So because you are having your GMC registration done for lifetime, and then you are having a 24 months of NHS experience, so you can get any NHS job very easily. So it is a confusion that after 24 months you have to go back and then you cannot work in NHS. This is wrong. You can work in NHS, but just you need to go back and then apply again for another, because you are in during MTI you will be having a tier 5 visa. Okay, and after if you apply directly to NHS after having a GMC registration and NHS experience, then you will get tier 2 visa, which is quite high level of visa. And after having tier 2 visa, you can have your sponsorship done for your family and everything. So tier 2 visa, you will get tier 2 visa very easily after having 2 years of experience in NHS. and GMC
So this
registration.
does this also answer Sayyid Ahmed's question, who has asked in the chat box that final FRCA requires 12 months of practice in NHS as an anesthetist for eligibility. If the MTI pathway is chosen, will those 24 months be counted towards the final FRCA eligibility? Can you please comment on that? So does it also answer the question of Sayyid Ahmed, Dr. Kashif?
Yeah. Actually, for like I said, that for final FRCA, you must have your primary FRCA with you. Okay, and obviously your training part. This is MTI program is a training training program. So because if MTI program is a College of Anesthetists a sponsor program. Okay, so they very take care of their MTI program holders and their training program. They count that training as well. And I have seen lots of people, even 80 to 90% of MTI holders, that they pass their FRCA primary during these 2 years. They definitely pass because the college supports them so much. The NHS Trust also supports them so much. They
It's
actually.
more like an internal candidate appearing in the exam, and
Exactly,
that's how they
exactly, exactly. Because he is working in a NHS, he or she is working in NHS and appearing in Royal College exam, primary FRCA, which is, and the person is already sponsored by Royal College of Anesthetists. Okay, all the tutors and even NHS consultants, they all supports, and there are during during a week you will be having a every day for MTI program holders. There are different teaching sessions program for them, so they really support them. But
so
again I said that it is very competitive. There are very tough competition for to get the
Mhm.
MTI program.
Right,
Okay, yeah,
right. So we have another question, which is more on the practical side, and it's been asked by Dr. Naseem Javed, who is also our regular participant in our online sessions. He has asked,
right.
as an experienced anesthetist from Pakistan facing political instability and high inflation, what are some of the valuable suggestions you would give for job security and stability in our field in anesthesia?
We are in Pakistan.
Yes, if someone wants to secure a job in UK
Okay, in
from
UK, I have mentioned different routes. Try to get those routes, but what I suggest, if you are not FCPS, then you should go for the plan. And
no,
then
he's asking about the job security and the stability in UK.
in UK, okay. So when you are GMC, your GMC registration done, so there are 100% of chances that you will definitely get a job. But
Mhm.
obviously, some people, there are certain, because every individual situation is quite different. Okay, if you are working in a tertiary care hospital, and if there is a seat vacant in any periphery of the UK, so they people are coming within after passing lab or getting GMC registration done, they get the job within 15 days, right? And some people get the job after 6 months, but you will get the job. If you are practicing anesthetics in any part of the world and are having your GNC registration done, then you will definitely get the NHS job. But the thing is that I cannot guarantee the time period that for how long it will take. But if you get the job as a registrar, because registrar is not a junior doctor, not a consultant. It's a middle grade job, a specialty doctor, right?
Is it
So
a faculty level job, or is it just just in the clinical side,
it,
registrar?
it- it's a clinical side. It's a clinical side because consultants are only in UK. There are no professor, assistant professor like that. You are even if you are a consultant or you are not a consultant, right? So there are two grades. If you are
Okay.
consultant, and if you are not consultant, and if you are not consultant, then if you are a junior doctor or a middle grade doctor. So these are the
Okay.
differences.
Okay. Okay.
So if
And
you
so
are a
how
middle,
long? So
and
there.
so if you are having a post-graduation anesthesia from any part of the world and you come in UK as a registrar, so you are a middle grade, right? You have to do your CSER for to become consultant or a 5 year training program to become a consultant. But before doing that, if you are working as a registrar, you can have a very, very good quality of life and you can support your family very. That's what I want to say.
Yes. So there is another very pertinent question that one of the resident has asked, Ujma Sheristha. She's asking how long the preparative time should be set for PLAB 1 and 2. How much is time required for the preparation for
For
PLAB 1 and
platform,
both PLAB 1 and PLAB 2?
okay. So for Ujma, it must be Ujma, not Uzma.
Ujma Sheristha, yes.
Yeah, Ujma, I know her because we were in New Zealand in 2014 to attend a conference together.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so I know her. So for Ujma, it is very easy exam and you can do very easy. Lab one is very easy. It depends. Obviously, it depends at an individual level. If you are having a family, kids with you, then definitely you are going to give a very small period of time during a day to give time to your studies. Okay, so you just need to go through all the notes, all the. There are different apps. Like what I recommend is a Plabable is another app. Name is Plabable and Plab Keys. These two are very highly recommended. And then you must have Oxford Handbook of Medicine with you and go through those questions every day. And once you finish all the, I mean, all the tools, all the pools, then you can definitely pass the exam. In my case, I in my case, I couldn't get my pleb one seat very early because it was a COVID days when I came here. So I was in during a single day. I used to check. I mean, 1,000 times if there is any cancellation seat. If there is any once I got the seat done, registration done, then I start preparing, and it took me around 3 months for pleb one. So for in my case, it was 3 months, but every person has different stories.
We
So
have few more questions, Kashif. So Ramla Shahzada has asked, the website says that EDIAC requires 12 months experience for part 2 of the exam. So does she still needs any my part 2 FCPS for that?
sorry
I
for.
think she's asking about her because she's a candidate of FCPS part 2 from
Yeah.
Pakistan. She's asking
Okay.
that EDIAC requires 12 months of experience for part 2.
Yeah. If you okay for part two, right? If you are FCPS and a status, then definitely you can appear in EDA part two. And
Okay.
you,
And
yeah.
if she's not FCPS but it has done MCPS, even then she can appear, right? Because
No, no,
12 months.
no, 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 no. This is not the case.
No.
For EDA
Okay.
part two, if you are MCPS, then you cannot appear in EDA
You
part
cannot
two.
appear.
Yeah, you cannot appear. If you are FCPS, then only then you can appear. That is what I was saying. That for appear for when you are when you are going to appear in any exam, just
Mm-hmm.
first clarify things. That if
Mm-hmm.
you appear in EDIC part one and you pass the exam, then you came to know that for EDIC part two you cannot appear in EDIC part two. That is what I
All
was saying.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Manisha Sharma has a question that what all documents need to be verified by ECFMG for MTI pathway. I think
Yes. Yes.
ECFMG is for America. Is it for US or for UK as well?
Yeah.
ECFMG.
It is for UK as well. It is actually required for the GMC registration, right?
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
she's asking about the documents needed to be verified for MTI.
Acha, for MTI, actually, you need to verify your MBBS. That's it. Nothing else.
That's it, and
Yeah,
nothing
nothing
else.
else. But you need to before appearing in the for the MTI application, you need to go through the website as well because it is already mentioned there. But every day they change their policies. So before applying, you need to go through that website. But currently, it is
And
only
house job is
uh,
also not required for the MTI pathway.
no. For actually, let me clear you that for GMC you need to have MBBS and internship, which is FY2, which is house job in our country, right?
Okay,
But
okay.
okay, but house job is not required to verify from the Epic for GMC
Oh,
registration.
okay.
You
That's
just need
great.
to But MBBS degrees need to be verified by EPIC, but you should have your house job certificates as well.
Mm-hmm. So Dr. Dalip Kumar is asking about the reasons for the withdrawal of anesthesia FCPS eligibility for GMC registration. Yeah, that's quite a question in debate these days, Dr. Dalip.
This is what I, since 2020, I was also searching the answer of this question in sitting in the UK, and I couldn't find any answer yet. But I am
Mm-hmm.
trying to get into
Yes,
it. Yeah.
actually, we all, even PSA is working on it right now, and we
Right.
are
Uh,
trying to figure out
Dr.
what
Asma,
exactly is wrong.
I will use this opportunity to speak out about the question which is being asked. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I came to know through number of people who were, because whatever exemption we apply, there should be a communication from the college. Okay, even before, when this exemption was there, this exemption was through our college. Unfortunately, nobody applied, nobody tried, unfortunately, to get it back. Okay,
No,
because
no, no, Dr. Zishan, you are wrong here because in our many of our meetings which were done on the PSA platform,
No, no, it's not
we had
PSA.
this. No, no, no,
It's
no, no.
college.
Let me just.
College.
Yes, let me explain to you.
Mhm,
Whatever you are saying is partially wrong in the sense that the people who are in the PSA are senior faculty who are also a part of faculty of College of Physicians and Surgeons Pakistan CPSP. They have
mhm.
talked on the upper level with the registrar of CPSP and with the senior faculty level in CPSP and the administration as well. The administration does not have a formal black and white paper from this EDIAC and from GMC that see Pakistan's exams have been taken off from their website. They don't have any
That's what
information on that, despite
that's
of
what
the
I'm
fact
telling
that
you.
PSA, yes, and they
Dr. Asma,
want
that's what I'm
anything in
telling you.
yes, they want
2011.
everything.
I will just clarify this. I just let me finish this thing.
Mhm,
2011,
mhm,
FRCA exemption for primary FRCA on the basis of FCPS was finished since
mhm,
2011. Okay,
mhm,
the
mhm.
separate thing, because people are not aware of this thing. The other
Yes,
thing is recent, that was for GMC. For GMC, this is something else, because General Medical Council has different rules, and General
yes,
Medical Council is associated also with the demand and supply when they want to have, and it has control from the, from the you can say, from the government. Okay, if they don't want to have people from certain country, they just squeeze the rules and they change the requirements. So GMC is separate. So the
mhm.
GMC exemption for on the basis of FCPS anesthesia is recent phenomena. Okay,
Yes,
Right.
but
yes,
the
exactly.
exemption,
Within 1 or 2 years, this has happened. I think
yes,
with
but the finishing exemption of primary FRCA is not a recent phenomena.
no, no, no.
Unfortunately, it has been done in 2011. I can tell you,
Yes,
na,
Okay.
yes,
the
Okay.
yes.
2011 it was finished. Regarding EDAIC, MCPS was allowed for few years, and after that it was pulled out. Okay,
Right.
Yes.
and still you can people can appear in MCAI and then FCI. Okay,
Mm.
and for the people who still want to go to UK, and they are doing FCPS, this is very easy still, because the same preparation they are doing for FCPS, they can do appear in FCI just right straight away. Okay, and the same preparation, rather you can say, if they prepare for FCI, their FCPS will already be passed. Okay, so don't worry, there is no problem at all. The people who are doing FCPS and want to go to UK, still it is easier for them to do FCI. Okay, but the people who are doing MCPS, the pathway for them is longer. If they still want to do it, they will have to do MCAI and then FCI, because FCI will also again give them eligibility to apply for GMC. Okay,
TMC, yes.
okay,
Thank you
so
so
this is
much,
the
Dr.
pathway.
Visham. That has clarified many queries of our participants as well, because it was quite ambiguous in the even for us as well. And Kashif, and the rest of the PSS members, we are on currently on working on it. And Kashif knows the answer of that. How
Exactly.
is he
And
collaborating with
Dr.
EDIAC
Asma,
with the
I will
thank you
again
so
request
much.
you one more thing. One more
Yes.
thing, that try to communicate with European Society of Anesthesia, European Society of Regional Anesthesia, and because they have centers all over the world, even in countries like Lebanon, they have center. So why we cannot have a center of European diploma in anesthesia exam in Pakistan? It's 100% possible. Just someone has to advocate that we are a nation of 250 million people, and we have a lot of anesthetists, and a lot of people are capable of appearing in the exam. I don't know how the center is developed in Lebanon, how the center is developed in Morocco. You cannot imagine the situation over these countries, and there is center of European diploma in anesthesia over there. So
Kashif
this
has
is a
some answers
request.
to that, because
This,
this is one of the debate which we had already done in last year and then
Actually,
before.
Dishan, I
Yes,
worked on it
yes.
a few months back, and we
Few
will.
years as well. He has been working
Yeah,
on it, I think, since 2020. है ना,
right.
Kashif?
Yeah. So
So
we are trying to have a EDX center in Karachi and Islamabad. So
yes,
that's
but
the
I
news.
think
Yeah, and we
yes,
are
but
working on it.
there are many issues on the, not
Yeah,
issues, but considerations to be taken in while any center is being established anywhere in the world. So I'm sure that in the future we might be able to overcome those
exactly.
circumstances, and we might be working on. But this is something which we had, which has been under consideration in PSA, and Dr. Kashif had been working on it for quite a long time now. So
Okay.
let me go back to the chat box, even though we are over and above time. So I will try to take, in fact, if any one of you have, because we have so many questions, and I think I'll miss out on many of the questions, and we are going beyond time. So I would request, we will save all your messages and your queries, and we will send it to Dr. Kashif, and we will try to answer your
Yeah,
questions
exactly.
in
You
the
can WhatsApp me as
e-certificate
well.
which will be sent to you.
Yeah.
So we would request everyone to kindly fill in the feedback form, and we are saving your queries, and we it will be sent to you on your emails with your e-certificate. So kindly fill in the feedback form so that these answers can be questions over there. And thank you so very much, Dr.
Okay.
Kashif. I think we
Most
also
welcome.
have Dr. Shabbir Jumani, who's the president. I don't know
Oh,
whether he's still there or not. Yes, he's still there. Dr. Shabbir, would you like to have final and few comments on our interesting topic today? It was very interesting. It was very engaging. It was the need of the time. And I would
exactly.
request you to have final few words so that we can close off the session.
I'm very much here, and I thank Kashif and all the participants, to attend this wonderful program. It was a wonderful presentation, and it highlighted different options not only for our colleagues who have passed their FCPS examination, but have different degrees and minor diplomas as well. And it cleared many queries and many misconceptions and confusions, among many participants. I again thank Dr. Kashif for presenting such a beautiful
Most welcome, sir.
talk.
How are you?
Thank you very much, Kashif.
So thank you,
Anything
Dr.
else?
Kashif, for
Okay.
joining us today. And
Thank you
we
so
will
much,
try
Aslam.
to, yes, we will try, we will send all the questions which have been asked in the chat box to Dr. Kashif so that he can answer your questions, and we will be forwarding or to you on emails with your e-certificate.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
everyone, for
Okay,
joining
thank
us
you so
today. And
much.
thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Zishan, for your valuable input. It was really nice of you being on board and, giving us your input as well. It was really nice. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.